new for the same thing. I spoke to you about the molasses tank. And I told you that land was being rented at 3 cents a square foot in the port, in the Bridgetown Harbor, a year. $1,200 a year for over 33,000 square feet to allow one company whose name Kerry has repeated on this platform and others tonight, a company affiliated with Reconco Storage Solutions Inc. A gentleman, I don't have nothing against him, but I said in Hero Square 4 years ago, they got work under the Labour Party and they will get work as Barbadians under the Labour Party government when we win again. But they cannot get all. So this is nothing personal, Mr. Maloney, mark my word. But the people there in Bush Hall, they don't pay 3 cents a square foot. And this is not commercial area, they pay more. And the people in Green Hill, and the people cross by Toppin and Cave Hill, and the people down in Fairfield by Ian, and the people by Trevor and Ivy. How can one commercial company, and then he builds a tank for 6 million, says it's 12, we don't believe it's more than 6, because he got a concrete firm. And can you believe that he is now to get $46 million over the next 20 years at $2.3 million a year, and Bajans can't get a salary increase in this country? Are you prepared to stay quiet for this? But if that was his only contract, you might say, well, boy, you get out like molasses. But this is the same man that has Berth 5 in the port, $50 million. This is the same man whose company 2 years ago when Republic Bank shares were sold, Barbados National Bank shares, he received $23.5 million in one fell swoop. And businesses in Barbados can't get the bills paid when government owed them. But as if that were not enough, within less than 2-3 months ago, he got $24.5 million for Grotto. And as that was not enough, the Ministry of Finance wrote back and says $3.5 million more to be paid to the gentleman and his company, to pay the bank. Well, they got other companies that pay the bank in this country. And if Chris Sinclair believes that the only reason he can justify it is because the money was owed to Royal Bank, let the businesses in Barbados tell them that they owe Royal and Scotia and First Citizens and every other one. And that those banks are closing down businesses in this country tonight because people cannot pay their bills. And Sinclair has the gall to come in Parliament and tell you that the building was not built, because you know he's not like David Thompson now. The building was not built for any $548 a square foot. The building was built for $350 a square foot because they added in the sewage system. Now, good Lord, you building 72 apartments. You expect to have 72 apartments without a sewage system? The documents are here. I know he is not too good at arithmetic. I know that. But for those who can help him, tell him divide $22.95 million, Clyde, by 42,624 square feet, and he will get $538.44 for low-income housing in this country. But you knew all of that before. Let me come to what else I come to talk to you tonight about. And that is why I asked for an hour, and I thank my colleagues for giving me the time tonight. Because, you see, when I spoke and said that they would get work in Barbados, it related to Coverley. You remember Coverley? Remember, we told you that this government had leased them 5 acres of land for 99 years for commercial use at $100 a year? And you got a bank and a clinic and restaurants and a gas station and all them kind of things paying them rent up there. And the taxpayers' land get giveaway, because you would have to call it a giveaway for that. We didn't tell you at the time, however, that the Environmental Protection Department is still yet today to approve those houses, or that the windows that they built were so small that EPD would not give them permission, because they said that the windows were more like bathroom windows and the houses were too hot. And all kind of intimidation was preyed upon the Environmental Protection Department, and they stood their ground. But they can let go and sell houses without following the guidelines and the regulations of public servants in this country who are to protect your interests. But you want to build a Cahill and deal with the environment. Well, you know, I didn't intend to have to speak about this tonight. And there are very few things that have hurt me as deeply in this country as what happened on Friday afternoon. A young boy, his name is Abijah. He left Welch's Primary School at a graduation. He had on the sash for the class of 2015. He celebrated with his classmates. And what must have been one of the happiest days of his life and that of his mother and his sister turned into one of the most tragic days for that poor family. There is an entrance and an exit to Coverley. All of us who go to the airport know it. I don't need to tell you how it comes out into the road. I don't need to tell you that it is in the road reserve. But what I need to tell you is that the chief town planner would have advised that same developer, a company related to Preconco, Housing Concepts, run by the same Mark Maloney, that they needed to remove that obstruction from the road reserve, because both the chief town planner and the chief technical officer were against it. And more than 2-3 years passed. They didn't get one warning. They got 2. And the morning that it was to be removed, a call came to the MTW department and told them, do not use the MTW equipment to remove nothing at Coverley. And a young boy, full of promise. And you saw his smile on the back page of the paper, is dead tonight. People don't enforce regulations because they want to humbug people in this country. Regulations are meant to protect the public good. And I say to you tonight that this government has abdicated the responsibility to protect the public interest. And I ask you tonight, are you prepared to stand for this? Money going to a few people and you can't get anything. Regulations being floated. And people, the best that we have to offer as young people dying. I say to you that this meeting is not called in the shadow of Grantley Adams' house by accident. Because if this were the life of a son of somebody prominent in this society, Barbados would have catch a fire this weekend about that thing in the road. But he was a Rasta boy. He was the son of a black woman, a Rasta woman. And you begin to ask yourself, how can 2 Barbadoses emerge in this country again from people who should know better and who benefited from the best that Grant B. Adams, Errol Barrow, and Tom Adams had to offer to allow them to become the men and women that they became in this country. This country has been good to them, and they have forsaken this country. I have been called for such a time as this, and so have you.